Hello and welcome. My name is Akosua Cassaberry, the Brand Authority Publisher. I am a ghostwriter for licensed professionals selling services on Google Maps and LinkedIn. Today, I'm going to talk about how I became the Brand Authority Publisher. To understand the Brand Authority Publisher, you must understand the reason I love writing and publishing. I love writing and publishing because of my father, I'm Akosua. This is a very personal article, being that my dad and I didn't have a close relationship. It's been 5 years since he passed away, and writing about him has been nostalgic and therapeutic. My father passed away in 2017 while I was pregnant with my daughter, Madison. My dad, who was also called Mr. K, taught me everything I know about the English language. He was extremely strict, especially when it came to speaking and writing in English. He was a stickler for grammar, correcting everyone's grammar since I could remember. Mr. K trained to become a teacher at the age of 24. He began his professional teaching career at Achim Mase Methodist Middle School in the eastern region of Ghana. He then moved on to teach at Martin de Perez International School at Dansaman in Accra. While teaching, he published his first book, The Torch English Composition. It was the first composition textbook in Ghana to give guidelines in terms of questions, suggestions, and prompt notes. At the age of 35, he decided to move to the United States to attain his bachelor's in English at Oklahoma State University. 4 years later, he moved to New York City and began working for the NYC Board of Education as an English teacher. He taught at Evander Childs High School, Morris High School, and John F. Kennedy High School. While teaching, he received recognition, accolades, awards, and praise for his creative writing, especially poetry. I didn't realize that's where I get my poetry talents from until going through my dad's resume and bio to write this article. I've yet to see or read any of his poetry work other than his fiction stories and English textbook. My dad was amazing in the classroom. The reason I know this is because in elementary school, he showed us some of his teaching tapes. I never saw him teach a live class, but I got to watch him on our living room TV. He seemed fun and dynamic with his students compared to how he was with my siblings and I. Mr. K was a lot younger and thinner in those tapes too. Watching my dad conduct a classic New York City classroom on my living room screen felt as if we were watching our dad in a Hollywood movie. It was moments like that that I enjoyed the most with my dad. Second most was when he brought out his camera to record us at home. He used to record every event, especially family activities like going out to eat, birthdays, christening, graduation, etc. He liked to record and take pictures a lot. I remember his students enjoying my dad in the classroom recordings. He looked comfortable in the classroom and had their attention. Before the tapes, I always saw my dad with a shiny bald head, a big belly, dashiki, and shorts. And that was the Mr. K that I knew growing up. But in his teaching tapes, he was slim with an afro, dressed in dark slacks and a button up that matched. In 1991, my dad earned his master's degree in creative writing from Queens College. He decided to develop his master's thesis, his MA thesis, a novella entitled Ancestral Sacrifice, into a novel and published it in 1998. Ancestral Sacrifice became the core English literature textbook for senior high schools in Ghana. He worked as a high school English teacher until his late 30s before an injury left him disabled and unable to work. The most important lesson I learned from my father is that trust will come with disappointment. I didn't get a chance to ask my dad why he became an author, but if I were to guess, it was to leave a legacy. It was difficult for him to sell books in America, so unfortunately, he wasn't successful as an entrepreneur. After experiencing and seeing my father as a struggling author, I followed his footsteps anyway, against the advice of my family. In 2011, I attended Allegheny College in Meadville, Pennsylvania, to attain an English degree with an emphasis in creative writing. You're probably thinking, what's so wrong with getting an English degree, right? The cherry on top was I didn't want to be a teacher. Now, if you're thinking, what do you mean you didn't want to be a teacher when you have an English degree? I know it sounds crazy. My parents wanted me to. My parents wanted me to be a nurse or a teacher. I didn't want to be a nurse. My eldest brother advised me on studying engineering instead, but I didn't listen. After receiving my bachelor's degree, I had no intention on going for a master's in English or teaching, which put a big microscope on how unstable and uncertain my path was heading. The brand authority publisher you know now wished she listened to her brother and pursued an engineering degree. After publishing 3 books and consulting a dozen clients, including my husband, I knew my path was to be a publisher. I didn't share that with many people because it was a big dream. I already had to fight for my decision to follow in my father's footsteps. I just kept it to myself. I've loved books since I was a little girl. My dad always had books in the house, and my oldest brother would have me read all of the books he used to read. In 2015, while my classmates were signing up to train and become teachers with TFA or AmeriCorps, I was applying to the open job market and reaching out to the network that I built with the Harlem Children's Zones organization. After completing a summer editorial internship with Time Inc., a wonderful mentor of mine put in a good word for me for an editorial assistant position with a tech advertising agency. Once my 6-month contract was up, I put my foot in the door to the world of temping. I was temping for a year post undergrad. I was a temporary employee for different staffing agencies as a receptionist and front desk coordinator. In 2016, I became the lead administrator at a small engineering firm new to New York City. I made it to my 6-month review just 1 month after publicizing my pregnancy and got fired for telling the man in charge, I overheard you talking to another employee. You could have told me that you didn't like the labels on the cabinets. And it was the best thing that ever happened. It took another 18 months to finally get my publishing career on track. My husband encouraged me to use my English degree, my 3 years of publishing experience, and my passion for writing to teach. I took the leap of faith and pitched him on becoming my first publishing client, which gave me enough brand authority to attract clientele. The last 5 years have taught me that the key to career advancement is brand authority. That is the biggest source of awareness, liking, and trust that you can receive from your audience. This is the foundation of Brand Authority Publishing. We developed Brand Authority Publishing to stop wasting time and money to constantly change your brand, stop offering products that consumers don't respect, and stop losing peace of mind over likes and followers. If you want to keep your time, respect, and peace of mind, book a brand clarity call today at I'mAkosua.com.